Hello students, welcome to ICB 2. Here today I am going to discuss one of the part of a science syllabus, that is chemistry. Okay, as you know students, we have 80 marks paper. Fine, the entire paper is been divided into four sections. The first is section A, section B, section C and section D. Fine. Now section A, all the questions for section A consist of 1 mark each. Section B consists of 2 mark questions. Section C consists of 3 mark question and section D consists of 5 mark question. So today we are going to discuss the questions or the varieties of questions that could be asked you in these different sections. Right? So let's begin with this first section, that is section A. As I've told you just now, section A consists of 1 mark question. So related to the chemistry, you will get 4 to 5 number of questions based on chemistry. That is 1 mark each. So let's see the variety on the based on which the questions will be asked. The very first type of question that can be asked is about the chemical equation. Now, students, chemical equation can be itself asked in a many different ways. So the very first way which it can be asked is in this form of statement. The reaction will be given to you in the form of statement and will be asked to convert it in the form of reaction. Okay. For example, a reaction was brought about between manganese oxide and aluminium. So here reaction was brought about between manganese oxide and aluminium. That means manganese oxide and aluminium are the reactant which are reacting it together. Fine. So we write it as MnO2, which is manganese oxide, reacting with aluminium, that is Al. Now students, as we know, aluminium is more reactive than manganese. It will displace manganese from its position and will get combined with oxygen. Okay, so what products we are going to get? We are going to get Mn, which is displaced, plus Al2O3, that is aluminium oxide, along with the liberation of heat. Right? So after writing the entire equation, you need to balance it. Balanced chemical equation is very much important, students. If you do not balance it, you will lose your marks. Let's see one more example over here. Reaction of copper sulfide with atmosphere. Now students, atmosphere is nothing but reaction of something with oxygen. So which is that something over here? It is copper sulfide. Copper sulfide is nothing but Cu2S plus oxygen, that is O2. When this reacts with oxygen, we will get Cu2O, that is copper oxide, along with sulfur dioxide, that is SO2. Right? This is one variety, one type of question. Next type of question that can be asked is word in the equation in the form of word equation. That means the equation will be given to you, but in the form of word, in the form of name. For example, oleum plus water gives us sulfuric acid. Oleum is nothing but it is H2S2O7, which is also called as disulfuric acid, plus water, that is H2. It is giving us sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. Okay, so word form it is given to us and we have to convert it in the form of formula. One more example for this. Aluminium reacting with steam will give us alumina plus hydrogen gas. Aluminum, that is Al, plus H2O, that is water in the form of steam, will give us Al2O3 plus 3H2, that is hydrogen gas. Fine. So this is another type of variation in the chemical equations question. Let's see the next variation, the skeletal equation. Now skeletal equation means the unbalanced equation will be given to you. You need to balance it. Okay. For example, we have the unbalanced equation over here. That is KClO3 gives us KCl plus oxygen, that is O2. So it's a totally unbalanced equation. We need to balance it. Fine. So it becomes 2 KClO3 gives us 2 KCl plus 3O2. Now, copper reacting with concentrated nitric acid. Next equation example we have over here. That is, we are getting copper nitrate plus NO2 plus H2O. So this is also the skeletal chemical equation which is unbalanced. We need to balance it again over here. Fine? That is Cu plus 4HNO3 gives us CuNO3 twice plus 2NO2 plus 2H2O. Fine? And the last variation in this question is for incorrect or incomplete chemical equation. We'll have the first example for incorrect one. You can see the equation which is given to us, that is MnO, that is manganese oxide, plus HCl, giving us MnCl, that is manganese chloride, plus H2O plus chlorine. Now students, you can see over here manganese chloride. The formula for manganese chloride is given to us, but it is wrong. So MnCl, instead of MnCl, the formula will come as MnCl2. Fine. Chlorine, instead of Cl, it will come as Cl2, that is chlorine. Right? So we need to correct it and then balance it. Okay. And the next example is for incomplete. Incomplete equation is simple as fill in the blanks. Okay. The reactants will be given to you. Products you have to write it on your own. You can see over here AgNO3 plus CaCl2. The products are not given. So products you have to write it on your own. That is calcium nitrate CaNO3 twice plus AgCl. Right? So based on the chemical equation, this type of variation in the questions can be asked. Okay, let's move on to the next type of question that might be asked in your question number, that is section A. That is multiple choice type of a question. Now students, multiple choice question, in multiple choice question, they might give you a diagram as shown in, over here on the screen. Okay, and based on that, they might ask you the questions. Okay, so these each, for example, when you see on the screen, there are 4 sub questions which are asked based on this diagram. So each will be of 1 mark. Okay, each will have 1 mark. Each will be carrying 1 mark. Fine. So that means in one main question, you will get 4 sub questions ka marks. That is 4 marks you will get simply. Fine. So do not miss this multiple choice question. It is compulsorily asked. Okay, so instead of diagram, it might have chart, it might have pie diagrams, it might have tables. So anything, like I said, any variation can be given over here. Fine. So let's see over here. Let's observe over here what will be the answers for these questions. So students, before moving ahead with the question related to this MCQs, that is multiple choice, I'll tell you this. This is a test tube, okay, in which we are heating copper sulfate ka crystals. Now students, copper sulfate we have studied in the uh, earlier class, or we can say in a previous years. Copper sulfate is also called as blue vitriol. Okay, copper sulfate is also called as blue vitriol. Fine. So its crystals are blue in color. Fine. So we are heating it over here. Okay, so let's now observe the questions which are asked. So the first question is, if the crystal is moistened with the water, dash color of the crystal reappears. Now students, initially copper sulfate crystal is what it is? Exactly, it is blue in color. Okay, so if you add water to it again, so what will be the change in color? Because when the crystals are blue, we are heating it. When we are heating it, the color goes off. The color fades off. Now, when you add water again back to it, the color comes back. Okay, so that is what color will come back? Which color will come back? That is blue color. Fine. Next, what is the commercial name for calcium sulfate hemihydrate? Calcium sulfate hemihydrate is nothing but plaster of Paris, that is POP. जिसको हम usually we call it as POP, that is plaster of Paris. Okay. Next, third wala. Water molecules present in the 1 formula unit of copper sulfate. How many water molecules are present? Now students, do you remember water molecule in any of the crystal, we call it as water of crystallization. So that itself, that is what number of water of crystallization is present in copper sulfate, they are asking us. So what is the formula for copper sulfate? CuSO4 dot 5H2O. Okay, so what are the number of water molecules? 5 is the number of water molecule. Fine. And the last question. Calcium sulfate hemihydrate. What is this calcium sulfate hemihydrate? It's plaster of Paris, that is POP. Is prepared by heating one of the following to the temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. What is it? It is CaSO4 half H2O. Okay. Yeah. Here there is a misprint over here. There will be CaSO4 half H2O dot half H2O. Fine. So simply you have to answer the questions and you will get 4 marks easily over here. Fine. So this is the one type of a question which is asked. Next question is assertion and reason type question. This is the newly introduced question in your paper pattern, students. Each type of assertion and reason type question will have 4 options. You can see the 4 options over there, that over on the screen. That is, first is both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation for A. Second is both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation for A. Third is A is true, R is false. And the fourth one is A is false, R is true. Okay, so out of these 4, one will be the correct option for your question. Fine, so let's see. So students, here is the assertion, the first question. Assertion mein they have told you, following are the structural isomers of butane. Now, butane means how many carbon atoms? 4 carbon atoms. Let's observe the structure which are given to us. Is it having the 4 carbon atoms? We'll talk about the very first structure first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's having the 4 carbon atom, that is butane. We'll talk about the next. We'll see the next also. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is also butane. It is also having 4 carbon atoms. Fine. So before, can I say both are having same carbon atoms, means the formula will be same, but both are having different structures, so they can be called as isomers of butane. Okay, so let's see what is the reason. Structural isomers have same molecular formula, but they differ in their structures. Is this explanation correct? Yes. Structural isomers, the definition is the same. Structural isomers have same molecular formula, means they will have same number of carbon, same number of hydrogen. Only their structure, appearance will differ. Okay, so both the statements are true, and the reason is correctly explaining the first, that is assertion ka statement. So what will be the option over here for the answer? That is A. Both A and B are true, A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation for A. Is it clear, everyone? Fine. Now let's talk about the second question over here. Okay, second question is assertion. The statement they have given is MnO2 plus 4HCl gives us MnCl2 plus 2H2O plus Cl2. Okay, and the reason they have told us, manganese oxide loses oxygen and gets reduced to manganese chloride. Let us see whether the statement is correct or wrong. Manganese oxide, that is MnO2, loses oxygen. Okay, when it converts into product, it loses oxygen and gets reduced to manganese chloride. Losing of oxygen is reduction, exactly correct, and gets reduced to manganese chloride. Yes, see, manganese oxide is losing oxygen and getting converted to manganese chloride. With the help of whom? With the help of HCl, that is hydrogen chloride. So here, what will be the correct answer over here? Yes, the correct answer over here will be again A, that is both A and R is true, and R is the correct explanation for A. Okay, so let's have the last example for assertion and reason. So assertion is Fe2O3 plus Al, that is iron oxide plus aluminium, will give us Al2O3 plus Fe. Is this statement correct? Yes. Aluminium is more reactive than iron, and therefore it displaces iron from its position. I can say it will remove iron and it will take place of iron. See over here. It has removed iron and it has combined with oxygen, that is took place of iron, that is Al2O3 is formed. Okay, so what I can say, let's see the reason. Aluminium is more reactive than iron. Is this true up till here? Yes, it's true. Aluminium is more reactive than iron. And therefore, Fe displaces aluminium from its oxide. Is Fe displacing or aluminium displacing? Yes, aluminium is displacing Fe. Fe is not displacing aluminium. Okay, so the reason is wrong over here. But assertion is true. So what will be the option? Option will be C. That is, A is true, but the reason is false. That is, reason is wrong. Is this clear? So in this type, you have to answer the questions based on assertion and reason type questions. Fine? Now, apart from assertion, apart from MCQs type question, okay, apart from these all questions, more type of questions that can be asked is one word answer type question. For example, they will give you one question and you have to answer them in one single word. Okay, or else they can also tell you to draw the structure of carbon compounds. They will tell you to draw the structure of pentane. They will tell you to draw the structure of hexane, methane, ethane, and so on. Okay, so that question, that type of questions can also be asked in section A for 1 mark. Okay, and definitions can also be asked. Okay, along with them. Fine. So these are the type of questions can be asked in section A for 1 mark. So with this, we are done with the section A. Let's talk about the section B. That is 2 mark question. Okay, hardly 2 number of questions, 2 or 3 number of questions can be asked in section B. That is related to chemistry. Okay, and section B, in section B, most probably the activity type questions are asked. Right, that is practical based, practical solving, and activity type questions are asked. Let's take an example of very first question. 2 elements X and Y have atomic number 12 and 16 respectively. To which period of the modern periodic table do these elements belong? What type of bond will be formed between them and why? Also give the chemical formula for the following compound. Chemical formula of the compound form. The very first thing, when you are given the atomic numbers, you need to write the electronic configuration. Okay, so X atomic number is 12 and Y atomic number is 16. So if you write the electronic configuration, X atomic number is 12. So what will be the electronic configuration? 2, 8, 2. And 16 Y electronic configuration will be 2, 8, 6. Okay. So now looking at the electronic configuration of the element, of both the elements, tell me how many shells are they having? They are having 3 shells. Okay. Now the next question is, to which period of the modern periodic table do these elements belong? Now period number is equal to the number of shell. How many shells? 3 shells. So which period? Third period. Clear? Next question. Which type of bond is formed between them and why? Okay, abhi bond formation ke liye we need to see the valence electrons. Okay, X is having how many valence electrons? 2. Very good. Y is having how many valence electrons? 6. Okay. Now tell me, to become stable, what X will do? X will donate 2 electrons, or I can say X will lose 2 electrons. Okay. Whereas Y, to become stable, what will happen? What will do? What Y will do? It will receive 2 electrons. It will gain 2 electrons. Fine. So Y will gain 2 electrons. Y will receive 2 electrons. Fine. So what is happening over here? Giving of electrons and taking of electrons. Giving of electrons and taking of electrons. Give and take of electrons is being done. So give and take of electrons will form which bond? Ionic bond. With the help of, or I can say, give and take of electrons results into the formation of ionic bond. Is it fine? Okay. And the last point in the question is, also give the chemical formula for the compound form. Now students, for chemical formula we need to know the valency. So let's talk about, these are the two elements, that is X and this is Y. Tell me the valency for, let us see the valency for X. X ka valence electron is 2. It will donate 2 electrons. So what will have? It will have the valency of 2. Okay. Y, valence electrons are 6. It will receive 2 electrons. So Y ki valency will also be 2. Now here I can say same valency will get cancelled. 2 ones are, here again 2 ones are. Okay, so what will happen? This will be multiplied by X and this will be multiplied by Y. Fine. So X1 and Y1. Y1 we usually do not write it. So we get the formula as X Y. Clear? Everyone? Fine. So this is how we answer the questions for section B. Fine. So let's move ahead with the next question. Next question is, write two observations when lead nitrate is heated in a test tube. And second is, name the type of reaction. Now students, lead nitrate is a white color powder which when we take in a test tube and when we start heating, okay, when you start heating, a yellow color, or I can say it, that white color powder turns into yellow color, yellowish color. Okay, why it turns into yellowish color? Because there's a formation of lead oxide into it when you heat it. Okay, and when you heat it, it will change into yellow color, giving us a fumes of reddish brown. Okay, fumes of color reddish brown color. Fine, reddish brown color ka fumes are being evolved. Okay, fine. Now students, this year, what it is happening over here? There is a lead nitrate, okay, which is breaking down into lead oxide and some brown, reddish brown color fumes wala gas. Okay, so breaking down is called as decomposition, and we are heating it. That means it is called as thermal decomposition reaction. So which type of reaction it is? It is thermal decomposition reaction. Fine. 2 marks question. Next, can following group of elements be classified as a Dobereiner's triads? So there are few elements given: beryllium 9, magnesium 24, calcium 40. That is what we can say, atomic masses are given. So what do we mean by Dobereiner's triads? See students, Dobereiner had given the triads. Okay, triads ka I can say law. Fine. What he said, elements having the similar chemical property. When elements having the similar chemical property are arranged in increasing order of their atomic masses, atomic mass of the middle element is approximately equal to the mean of the atomic masses of other two elements. Means atomic mass of the middle element will be equal to the atomic masses of the other two elements. Okay, such group of 3 elements are called as triads, or we can say Dobereiner triad. So let us check whether these elements are following Dobereiner's law of triad or no. Okay, so if you arrange them in the increasing order of atomic masses, so what will be the atomic masses arrangement? Beryllium, magnesium, calcium. Right, correct, as they have given to us. That is 9, 24, 40. So atomic mass of the middle element is equal to the, is approximately equal to the atomic masses of, mean of the atomic masses of other two elements. Other two elements matlab means beryllium plus calcium upon 2, that is 9 plus 40 upon 2, you will get 49 by 2, that is 24.5. Now, I can say magnesium atomic mass is 24 and the answer which I am getting is 24.5. So this is not exactly equal. but I can see this is approximately equal. So approximately equal, okay, it is approximately equal. Fine. So therefore we can say these three elements are following the Drobirinus law of triads and they can form Drobirinus triad. Fine. Clear? So this is what we mean by this. See students, everything, each and everything which is written on the screen, you have to write it down because it will have marks. Okay? You do not have to write the answers in short form. Okay? Next questions can be asked in your section B is give reason or justify statement type wala questions. Okay, so let's have a few give reasons or justify statement ka questions. The first is neon and argon are unreactive gases. What do their atoms have in common? Just a minute. And next question is why are they non-reacting gases? Okay, so let's see what is the answer for it. Now, students, for the first part is neon and argon are unreactive gases. Now, why they're unreactive? Neon and argon have completely filled valence shell. They do not have incompletely filled valence shell. As they do not have incompletely filled valence shell, they do not give, share, or take electrons. That means they do not react with anyone. That means they do not react, matlab they will not give, they will not take electrons, they will not share electrons. That means the valency of the neon and argon is zero, or we can say they are zero valent. Okay, that is they will not react with anyone, that is they do not have tendency to lose, gain, or share electron because they already have their octets filled. Clear? And this is the reason why they are called as unreactive gases, or we can say non-reacting gases. Fine? Clear? Next. The number of carbon compound is more than those formed by all other elements put together. Justify the statement by giving two reasons. Now, why the number? Why we can say what is the meaning of this question, students? Why carbon is having more number of compounds and why not any other elements to have these many number of compounds? This is because of two properties. Because this is because of two carbon properties. Okay, the very first property is catenation. Now, what do you mean by catenation? It is a self-linkage property. Carbon has a capacity to form a covalent bond with the other carbon atom to form a long chain. Okay, this property is called as catenation. This is the reason for the presence of vast number of organic compounds in nature, because many long chains can be formed giving the different carbon compounds, giving the different structures and giving the many of the compounds, numerous compounds. So this is the one property which is the reason which this is because of this one property, how we can say many carbon compounds, or I can say a lot of number of carbon compounds can be formed. One more property, that is a tetravalency. Now tetravalency, now students, what do we mean by tetravalency? Tetravalency is nothing but a state of an atom with the 4 electrons available for covalent bonding. So carbon is an atom which is having 4 electrons available for covalent bonding, and therefore it can be bonded with the 4 different elements. Okay, and therefore carbon is also called as tetravalent element. Fine. So this is a type of justifying statement question which we can also write it. Okay. Now that's it for the section B. Let's talk about section C. Now students, section C is for 3-mark question. Okay. Hardly you will get chemistry ka 3 questions in the sections in this section C. Fine. This is individually a 3-mark question. So let's start with the section C. Let's start with the very first type of a question. Now, basically, students, section C, in section C, you will get the sub question types question. Means there will be a question given, and many of the sub questions will be asked. You need to answer them one by one. Okay, for example, we have this a question related to the periodic table. So a diagram is given and a question has been asked. Okay, so the first question: identify the block shown by a box A and write the number of valence electron of the elements in this block. Okay, so identify the block shown by box A. So, and write the number of valence electron of the element in that box. So, A is the which block A is pointing towards, which block A is pointing towards. A is pointing towards the block S, that is S block. And what will be the number of valence electron? See, S block is consisting of two group students, that is group 1 and group 2. So if the group 1 and group 2 are present, that means the valence electron will also be 1 or 2. Okay, so next question: identify the block of the element denoted by letter B. Letter B is denoting which block? Yes, this is D block. Okay, and write the period number of the given element in this block. So this is D block, and which is this period? Let us count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So which is the period? That is the fourth period. Okay, fine. Last question: which type of element it is? When you're talking about it is matlab exactly the question which has been asked you before. So that is about the B, the letter B. So which element it is? It is iron. Okay. They have asked you which type of element. Type of element means, is it a metal? Is it a metalloid? Is it a non-metal? They have asked you. So iron, as we all know, it is a metal. Fine, known as known as transition element. As we know, the elements in the D block are called as transition elements. Okay, so you need to answer this as this. So this is a 3-mark question, 1 mark each for the question over here. Fine. Next question: an element X belongs to third period and group 16 of the modern periodic table. Determine the number of valence electrons. The first question is determine the number of valence electron and valency of X. The element is belonging to the third period and group 16. Okay, of the modern periodic table. Determine the number of valence electron. Fine. Now, students, as we have seen, valence electron depends upon the number of group. Now, here the group number is 16. We have already learned after 12, that is from group 13, the unit digit. Okay, the number which is present in the unit digit of the group number is the valence electron of that group. Are the valence electron present in the elements of that group? Okay, so what will be the valence electron? Yes, exactly. The group number is 16, so valence electron will be 16. Valence electrons will be 6. Fine. Now, what is the valency? Now, our valence electron is 6. So, what number of electrons it will need to, I can say, be stable? Yes, that is 2. So, it will need more 2 electrons to become stable. So, what will be the valency? The valency of X will be 2. Yeah. Next, molecular formula for compound X when it reacts with hydrogen. Now, students, when you talk about hydrogen, okay, we have to talk about, when you talk about the molecular formula, we need to know the valency of both the elements. Okay, so this is hydrogen and this is element X. Okay, element X ki valency we have just found out. Okay, so what is the valency for element X? That is 2. Hydrogen ki valency is 1, as we all know. What will happen? Crisscross, that is 2 will get multiplied by this and 1 will get multiplied by this. So what will be the formula? The formula will be H2X. So the formula will be H2X. Okay. Last question. Name the element X and state whether it is metallic or non-metallic. It is metallic or non-metallic. So X, when you talk about, okay, it is present in the group 16, okay, and third period, and we can say valency 2. Why we have said here valency 2? Because it will gain 2 electrons, right? Gaining of electron is a metallic character or non-metallic character? It is a non-metallic character. Is it clear? Fine. And what will be the name of the element? The name of the element will be sulfur, that is symbolized by a symbol S. Okay, and it is a non-metallic character. Fine. So this was the second question for section C. Okay. Now let's talk about the last question for section C. This is a periodic table. Now you have to tell me. Write the element of symbol Q. Tell me which will be the element. Let's us first count the which is the element. Okay. What is the number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Q is the seventh element, and we have already seen the shortcut for the element, that is first 20 elements. So let's count. Hi, hello, listen, B, C, news, news. N stands for seventh. N stands for seven, that is news. So N stands for news, that is N, that is nitrogen. Okay, so the symbol will be nitrogen, that is N. Seventh element. Okay. Next, arrange the elements P, Q, and R in increasing order of their metallic character. Increasing order of the metallic character. That means the first element will be the least metallic, last element will be the most metallic. Now tell me, P, Q, R among this, which is the least metallic? Obviously R, because R is a non-metal over here. After that, yes, Q, and the most metallic will be P. Exactly. So R will be the least metallic. फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा सा metallic होगा Q, and sorry, your here instead of S we will have P. Okay, a typing mistake. Fine, clear everyone? Okay, and the last one. Will the elements R and S have the same number of valence electron? If yes, then state the reason. R and S. Where is R and S? Yes. R and S. Can I say they are belonging to the same period? They are belonging they are belonging to the same group. And the elements belonging to the same group will have same valence electron. Okay. So yes, they will have same valence electron. Why? Because they belong to same group, that is group 16. Fine. Okay. Now let's move ahead with the last section, that is section D, a 5-mark question. Basically only one question is asked from chemistry in this section, but sometimes they might ask you two also. So hardly one or two, not more than that, questions will be asked. Okay. So let's talk about the first question. Okay. What they have asked you: define the homologous series. Okay, states its characteristic. Also give homologous series of alkene, that is first four, along with its structural formula. So सबसे पहला है define the homologous series. Okay, so what do you mean by homologous series? Now students, what is a homologous series? It's a series of compounds, okay, that is which belong to the same family, or I can say the series of compounds belonging to the same functional group with the similar chemical properties. Okay, and any two members, okay, in a particular series, if they any two members in a particular series differ in their molecular formula by CH2 units or 14 units by molecular mass, then it is called they are present in the homologous series. Okay, so what will be the characteristics of them? All the members have same general formula. They belong to a same functional group. Okay, general formula same होगा तो obviously functional group same होगा. They will have similar chemical properties. Chemical properties will be similar. Okay, physical properties like melting point, boiling point, density will show some changes. Okay, that is gradual changes with the increase in the molecular formula, because molecular formula will increase, as I've told you before. Difference between the two successive members will be of CH2 units, so 14 units ka difference will be there in molecular weight. So depending upon the molecular weight, the physical properties will slightly change or slightly increase or decrease. Fine. And the last question over here is homologous series of alkenes. Okay, you can see over here, see, ethene we have talked about. Ethene is CH2 double bond CH2. Propene, CH2 double bond CH, CH3. Butene, CH2 double bond CH, CH2, CH3. Can you see double bonds are attached in the same, between the same carbons? ऐसे अलग अलग नहीं है. It is not been attached, or I can say double bonds are not placed in between anywhere. They are placed among the same number of carbon, between the same number of carbon. So this is called as the functional group. That is, I can say position is same. Okay, and the difference between them is CH2 units, that is 14 units. So they are present in the homologous series. Fine. Okay, now last question over here. Yes, this is a big question over here. Okay, so a student performed the following two activities in a school laboratory. Fine. Activity 1, addition of zinc dust into the copper sulfate solution taken in the test tube. Activity 2, addition of an iron nail into copper sulfate solution taken in a test tube. He noted down his observations and concluded that the chemical reaction occurred in both the cases based on the observed color change of the resulting solution. So they are asking what will be the answers for these questions. The first, what was the initial color of the solution? What was the initial color of the solution? Okay, so what will be the initial color of the solution? Initial color will be blue. Okay, initial color of the solution will be blue. Okay, next is why initial color of the solution will be blue? Because in the first activity, zinc dust is added into the copper sulfate solution. Okay, taken in the test tube. So initially test tube में solution with what was the solution? Copper sulfate. Into that zinc dust was added. Copper sulfate is a blue in color. Okay, so the initial solution color ka solution will be blue. Fine. So now next question is, find what is the final color of the solution in activity 1. So zinc dust when added, activity 1 they are talking about. So zinc dust when added to copper sulfate solution, so the final solution will be white, or I can say colorless. Okay, zinc dust when added in the copper sulfate, it results into the white, or I can say colorless solution. Okay, fine. Next, what is the final color for the solution in the activity 2? In activity 2, what has been done? Iron nail is taken, okay, and it has been added into the copper sulfate solution, okay, which is present in the test tube. So iron nail is there, it is added to the copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate is CuSO4, that is blue color ka solution. Okay, iron nail is iron, that is Fe. Fine. Now iron nail when added to copper sulfate solution, which is already blue in color, what will happen? The change in the color will be, it will change to green. Why? See students, when you talk about iron is Fe, okay, and copper sulfate is CuSO4. Can I say who is more reactive, iron or copper? Obviously iron. So what it will do? It will remove copper from its solution and it will take its position. So the solution which was copper sulfate previously, Now it has changed to iron sulfate solution, which is green in color. Fine. So activity 2, in activity 2, final color of the solution will be green because the copper sulfate has been changed to iron sulfate, that is, I can say ferrous sulfate. Okay, which is green in color. Next, fourth wala question. What are the products formed in activity 2? As I have told you just now. Okay, iron has displaced copper and it has changed copper solution to ferrous sulfate solution. Okay, so what is formed? The iron sulfate, that is ferrous sulfate solution, and a copper discharges are being formed. Fine, so these are the products for the activity 2. Clear? Fine. And the last question. Based on these activities, what can you conclude about the reactivity of the elements zinc and iron as compared to that of copper? So they are telling us to compare the activities. Can you conclude that? What can you conclude about the reactivity of the elements zinc and iron as compared to that of copper? So out of these three, they, in short, they are telling us to give the reactivity of zinc, iron, and copper. So who is more reactive according to the reactivity series? Zinc and iron are more reactive than copper. Okay, so among these three, copper is the least reactive element. Right? So among these three elements, copper is the least reactive element. Okay, so these are all the questions which you have to give answers. These consist of your 5 mark. Fine, students. So with this, we end up over here with our all the sections. We have covered almost all the type of questions. Okay, so all the very best for your exam. Prepare well. Good luck. Have a nice day. Thank you.